Hi and welcome to episode 4 of the Striking Blueprint. Now we're going to go a little bit off into the promotional realm of martial arts, kickboxing, and just all-round violence today with a guest who I've got who has also had me on his podcast in the past, which is amazing. So obligatory handshake, good sir. Lee Matthews has kindly agreed to join. Now, as we kind of said before, you know, everything about you has already been documented very well, the success and everything. And we're going to look at something that you're doing at the moment, which is a really exciting venture and huge development for everybody in combat sports at the moment. Everybody is going to have an interest in what you're doing. But before we get to that, we need to just get a little bit of information on you as to your background, just a little bit, so people can see why we're getting to the level that we're getting to. So what inspires you to do what we're going to talk about shortly? So past, what you're presently doing, basically. Yes. A good intro for us.
Yeah, of course. So thank you very much for having me on your show. Really appreciate it. And thank you for coming on my podcast, which is great.
I enjoyed that too.
We had great fun. Both of us like to talk, so it's a pretty easy thing to do, isn't it? Get camera on.
They said it was hard to cut up afterwards. Though.
Yeah, I bet.
Because
no gaps in between.
There wasn't a gap at any point, no.
So about me then. So I've done martial arts pretty much my whole life since I was a kid. Started with traditional jiu-jitsu, because that was the closest thing in the 80s. I
didn't even know that, to be fair.
Yeah. That's why I like the sweeps and the throws
stuff.
and all the good stuff. So I did that for a few years because that was the only kind of martial arts within walking distance. So this is what you did. I didn't even know the difference. Then I went on to do a bit of Lao Kung Fu again, because it's from the same location. And then went to ECA, English Contact Karate.
ECK,
massive they were back in the 80s and in the early 90s, and did a few competitions, started going and went abroad, won the WK Junior Worlds when I was 15, 16. And then the ECA Nationals won the full contact and points on the same day. So I got to
proper old school when you do the full con and points together.
And you have all the fights on the same day for the full contact. And I was 16. I was fighting all the men and everything as well. So that was probably one of the hardest days of my life up until that point. And
good resilience builder, though, isn't it, when you're young?
It certainly was. So I did all that. That was great fun. Joined the military, joined the parachute regiment when I was 18. So my life went on a bit of a different trajectory then. I wasn't really able to train as much because I was away on operations and training. So I went to Northern Ireland, Kosovo, on operations there. And I went all around the world to Canada, Norway, Arctic training, and all around the UK and stuff as well. So that was an adventure, and you just did bits of training whenever I could. I was stationed in Dover, so I joined a full contact club there, and get my black belt with them while I was down there, because I was already training before.
My intro would be so boring compared to yours. Like everything you just said in literally 35 seconds. I did a bit of kickboxing in Manchester, and I'm Carl Thomas. Thank you very much. I mean, my God. I mean, one of the things that I want you to go over, if you can as well, is the amount of schools that you have.
Yeah, definitely.
As well, and the growth, because you're actually, as well as being an athlete yourself and a coach yourself, your influence has spread far wider than that.
Yeah. So from there, then when I was in the military, I started training with the Whispers as well. So got my black belt with those. And then while I think I was mid-20s, and people were just starting to open martial arts centres then. So I qualified as a physical training instructor in the military. So I thought, I just got married, had a kid, and there was an opportunity then to teach martial arts and make money from it, because no one else was doing that really before. I think it was 99, 2000. So, and then got out end of 2001. I got out, opened a martial arts school, while I was still serving in the military. So I had a 3-month period of when I was getting paid still, and I thought, right, I needed 50 students. I bought a house, got a mortgage first, so because you wouldn't get one as self-employed, and then made sure I did. And I think I had about 150 students in 3 months, so I was well ahead. And then I got a loan, and then borrowed some money off someone to say I'd got money in my bank so I could get the loan, gave them the money back, used that money then to develop this rundown old pork scratching factory. Made that my headquarter, opened that up, and had another 100 students within a month. And it was just flying, and I was making money. I'd never had money. I didn't know what to do with it. So obviously made all the wrong mistakes, and then built that.
Enjoyed it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was in mid-20s, you got a Porsche and all the things that you do, spending stupid amounts of money, and then grew up a little bit. And
Invested it right then.
Yeah, that's it. And started opening more schools up. And fast forward, then I started competing again for Great Britain with WACO, won WACO British and European titles, won world titles in other various organisations as well. And then as I was doing that, I built up my schools. 100 opened, over 200 locations have opened up in the whole time I've been teaching. Jesus. And I have about 100 active at any one time. So that's where I am now. I also developed a fight squad. And at the time, it was one of the best fight squads in the world, and I had some fantastic people there in the time, including, as we know, the only one who's still fighting really is kind of Elijah. Left from those, and he's gone on to do some great stuff now with Karate Kombat. So
it's not even just like you said, you had a really good fight team then, because a lot of the academies that are good academies are still British Martial Arts. So BMMA academies, aren't they?
Yeah. So now the great thing is we've got Charlotte, Tony, we've got Tony Anderton, we've got Charlotte. We've got James McCormick. They've all got they're all built. We've got Elijah. Everill's got his. So we've got all these great instructors that are out there and repping for the brand. And
the GB coaches.
Yeah, and they've got their own.
Charlotte's just done her trial for GB coaches. Tony is obviously a GB coach. Elijah's a GB coach.
Amazing.
You make up majority of the team GB coaching staff by some of your satellite academies.
But they're all at separate independent teams. So imagine if you join them all together. I think we'd be pretty high up in
It'd be a powerhouse
in the medals. But but it's great because each of them are their own individuals as well. So it's important that they still have their identity while being part of the organisation. Otherwise, people they'll outgrow you as they get that level of progression. So, and I love the team. I'm super, loyal to them. They're super loyal to us, and they're going out there repping things and doing really well. So, to be honest with you, I'm not as in the forefront as I used to be. I used to be everywhere, didn't I?
Yeah.
In fact, I was drifting out as you were kind of like coming in.
Yes, I think so.
To speak, really. Yeah. And you've obviously gone on to position yourself as one of the best in the world, and definitely one of the best in the UK.
It's gone well. Well, speaking of one of your fighters, then, like I just said, who's also got their own location at the moment, is this is a good tie-in, I think, to where we're going to go, because I'm really excited about this conversation, because this is something that I know all martial arts coaches spoke about for a long time. But there's one of your fighters, Elijah Everill, who has competed he's done points, he's done light contact, he's done kick light, he's done full contact. I think he was probably one of the first real breakaways into karate combat. That style, karate combat. How do you feel he did in transitioning over from that into the style of karate combat, which is just full, brutal, nasty, going from tatami into that? What would you say was his transition period like?
Good. I mean, he'd been prepared anyway. I mean, he trains with some absolute killers. I mean, he trains with like pro world-class MMA champions and UFC champions as well. Like, so, he's been around.
Monsters.
Leon Edwards and some of the others around. He's been around a lot of them that are just like world class. So he's kind of more than prepared, but it's his mindset. So his mindset is able to test and adjust. So even if he initially could go into something, and if it's new, he kind of likes it. So if he goes in there and then, okay, this is different, I'm not working, that's not working, then it gives him something to kind of feed off.
Someone told me that he even does like Christmas Day, he'll still go and do training and run sprints.
That's a tradition we all did. We used to post. So when we had the fight squad, you'd all post on Christmas morning where you were training. But go on. I still got to run every Christmas, even though I don't run as much now. That's just a standard thing. Like you've got to get ahead slightly. Do the things when someone definitely isn't doing it, and you're going to get ahead a little bit.
I've missed that for 40 years now.
Yeah,
I might start this year, then give it something out of it. So like you've seen one of your fighters, one of your, because I've seen pictures of Elijah when he's really young, when he's just starting out with his belt in his gradings. You've seen him conquer tatami. He's then also he's fought in the ring, done amazing in the ring. He's then gone over, and I think it was in Miami on one of them, or he's in the States, isn't he, when he's fighting in these karate combat events. So you've basically seen someone go from the very start to now really high up, like the pinnacle, but then you've also seen this new style of fighting, but it's something that we've never had in the UK. Now, this is where, and I think we've all spoke about it for ages, but no one's had the bollocks to do it in the UK. It's never really been done. And that is, we have amazing athletes. We've got the best, I think we've got some of the best young athletes in the world in our sport. Tatami fighters, points like on, kick light, and even our young, junior ring fighters. And then what happens is they get to a point where they hit, 17, 18, 19, 20.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. As we've said in previous conversations, they start to drift a little bit. And then all the work, or like Elijah's thing is, he conquered everything. And there was nothing here. There's nothing here for him, to really go for it. I'm losing students. I know that other people are losing students. And these are kids who've dedicated everything. And they can't just jump into something else. What they've got to do is, I'll take up MMA. Or I'll take up boxing. So we need the transition. Now, luckily, and would you like to mention the business partners involved before we go on to it?
Because there's a team of us, all equals. There's 4 of us. So you've got obviously Andy Cleves, who everyone knows in the UK. If you don't know him in kickboxing, he's got one of the best fight teams in the world.
Epic mats.
He's got if you've got martial arts mats, they're probably from him.
Sold them to you.
A really astute businessman, a great guy as well, and a fantastic leader. So he's the operations. He does all the shows. So you would have been to his shows probably at some stage. Someone with Bristol Open, one of the biggest in Europe. So he is in charge of all that.
Runs like clockwork.
Oh, unbelievable. What he does, he's the best at what he does in the world that I've ever seen. But he's always learning. He's always looking for new things as well, and ways of changing things up and mixing it up and making it better. And there's no ego as well. So we're all able to just throw stuff in the mix. We know that we're not doing it to like get one up on each other or anything. Like, can this be made better? If it can, what do we do? Let's do it. So you've got Andy who does that. You've got Damon Sanson, one of the most successful tatami fighters to come out of the UK, both in kickboxing and in Olympic taekwondo. So phenomenal guy, gentleman as well, and also is extremely articulate and very, very intelligent, super creative. He puts the fight cards together and is responsible for the social media side of stuff. So the outwardly projected message that you'll see on our social media comes from Damon, and he's got a team of about 5 or 6 people under him as well. That is a full-time job.
So is he like matchmaker then as well?
Yeah. And if you think about, what do they say, styles creates fights, doesn't it? So in what we're doing, in what we've done, which we'll get onto now, we're mixing different styles against each other. So you can get 2 great fighters, as you know, and it can be shit and it can be boring and they can nullify each other. And we've all seen fights like that, which is a big anticlimax. Or you can get the right mix where one person from one style and then the other person's got the answer to it. And you can see a great fight. And he's very good at selecting in these prelim stages of what we're building, because obviously as we progress into belts, things will unfold and the best styles will probably be an 80-20, and you'll see the main styles dominating probably as we get further down the lines. But for now, while we're matching, we're evenly matching. It's an elite fight group. It's an elite fight league. So you have to fight anyone that's put there. You can't pick and choose. You got to be a champion anyway. So he picks these fights, and the fight card on the first one was great, and this second one now is looking to be even more exciting. So you've got those 2, and then you've got a guy, Ben Achilles as well. So he is embedded within the production side of stuff and in the TV world. So he's worked. So he's got a company. He's worked with kind of FIFA and all the top players within the sports industry. He's got a lot of connections within a lot of the TV companies, which is why we've managed to get a deal quite quickly, which I'm not going to be able to say yet because we haven't signed it officially. I think you probably know what we've managed to do because you're in the WhatsApp groups with the fighters.
I happen to know.
Yeah. So
I won't
said it then as well.
I won't press it. I won't say anything.
It will. So we've got a TV deal with a major. Production with a major TV company. So.
I won't press on that. We'll just let everyone know that there will be an announcement to come that will very much shake up everything. Yeah. Is that the best way to say it?
Yeah, definitely. I hope so. That's the plan.
Yeah, it will go from what it is right now to very mainstream very quickly.
But this is the plan. This has always been the plan.
Yeah.
So it may appear like it's been overnight success and we've had one show and we've got this. It's not, though. This is a lifetime of grafting from everybody. Yeah.
And a lot of experiences from all of you as well.
Hundreds of shows been put together. Hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands of hours each. Doing martial arts, training people, spending days within sports centres, and you fine tune the art, your craft, don't you? When you're doing that, you learn stuff, all the intricate details of it. What's important to fighters, what they want, because it's got to be fighter orientated. Yeah. And because we are fighters, that's what we're trying to do. We're not able to pay people as much as what you might get in some of the other ones yet, but all of our money goes into production more than, and it's because we spent so much on it is why we're able to get into mainstream TV.
Yeah.
So we take the hit on that, you know, and as things then develop, it's the chicken and egg. Once that gets up and then you get the sponsorship, the money comes in. Okay, now guys, now we're
Next
going to,
level.
because this is what we're doing. We're building a platform for primarily tatami fighters. So let's go over karate, taekwondo, light contact, semi-contact. Okay, that's kickboxing side of stuff. The big trio, the kickboxing. So, in my opinion, and probably in yours, I think these are some of the best strikers in the world.
I agree 100%.
And they're the world's best kept secrets. And I don't think the rule sets allow the general public to see their skill set properly.
Yeah.
This is why we created a rule set within Total Kombat, which would allow for creativity, risk taking, and you know, and kicks, knockouts.
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head with something really good. You see, the general public can't see the level that the athletes are actually at when they're only in their own rule set.
Yes.
For example, like nobody we know, for example, that you look at in Olympic taekwondo, world taekwondo, they've got to try and hit the body pad with a certain pound of pressure, something like that. But they only need to flick it. That doesn't mean they can't take your head off if they wanted to, and they can't, because if you haven't got a massive hogu, you know, a body pad, trunk protector on, you're going to feel them shots anyway, as we saw by Mohamed Noor, isn't it? I think who we're going to talk about in a bit as well. But also, just going back, the people. I think the reason this is going to be a success anyway is the people that are on board on it, like you said, like you know, the main people involved. Is that if you got any of them in a room and just had a chat with them, the chat would end up, no matter what you're talking about, going back towards martial arts. It would go back towards combat. It would go back towards this. It wouldn't be what it wouldn't be talking about football. Wouldn't be talking about this. Wouldn't be talking about the weather. It would instantly end up with just shooting the breeze, just chatting shit about violence and fighting. And I think they would beat them. I think they beat them, and it always does, because I've had the conversations. One of the, I think Damon Sampson is one of the very best for it.
Oh, he loves it.
So if I ring up Damon, I speak to Damon a bit. I get on with him really, really well. He's been over at my academy a couple of times as well. And we will just have conversations on it. So he rang me up when he wanted to come back. He wanted just a little bit of training. This was a few years back. He went, "Do you mind if I come to your club?" And I was going to be on the phone with him for about 2 minutes. About an hour we were on the phone, and he was asking me. He wanted to know who were like the big dogs at the moment in this way. Who's this? What about European at world level? Who's the best? So his knowledge is also brilliant, which is going to tie into the matchmaking and make that so good.
Oh, he does. He knows everything. He knows everyone.
Yeah.
You know, and he's. But do you know what the exciting thing is as well? There's so many out there that we don't know. We're looking now into the karate and the taekwondo sides. We know the main stars.
Yeah.
You might know some from the Olympic taekwondo, because obviously they're on TV, and from some of the big karate names. Apart from that, we don't know many, but we're finding whole networks of people. Oh, they're like me. They're the karate version of like of us. They've got hundreds or thousands of students. They've got some really good fighters. They've spent their whole life in sports halls, and we're like that, and we're bonding with people. Like, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think karate, taekwondo, and kickboxing have been brought together to compete in a neutral, and I say neutral environment, as equals before.
Not outside of movies.
I don't think so. I mean, someone will pull me up on it if I'm right, but I can't remember, because obviously there's the 10K, and you used to go and fight on that.
10K clash,
but that's a karate event.
It was, and it was full karate, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then you got the Olympic taekwondo. You know, kind of fighter selection program. Yeah. So, but that's taekwondo. So they're coming together, but under different umbrellas. This is a neutral umbrella. Like, we're not invested in points fighting or light contact or full contact or karate or taekwondo being the best. We want to see it play out, and it's about, you know, may the best fighter win.
See, what's really exciting though is that I mean, ours as coaches and as kickboxers, and you know the way that we've grown up with it, we're looking at it from one point of view, which is, you know, our fighters are going to come to this point. What's really exciting is you might get, do you know, the ones who like they're moving, so like our kickboxers move to MMA or they move to boxing, something like that. What you might find is when something's fresh and new and exciting, and they've been in that other thing for such an amount of time, you might find that it's just boxers who've always been boxers go, I can kick, and I've got better hands than all they have. I'll step into the oval, and then you've got MMA fighters. I've done MMA and everything like this. I can do that. I'll do this instead. You know, I've dealt with submissions all the time. Now I'm going to really focus on the stand up and the striking instead. And you might find they come, and you might find that we've got these up and comers coming up against veterans from different styles.
This is what we're hoping. This is what we want to see. So you could get a very well seasoned, and I'm confident in this, and I think this is going to happen. Like world class, well known like name within UFC that's done well, or Bellator that people know of, is mainstream. Come over and fight one of the guys that comes from the tatamis and get beat.
Yeah,
and I can see that can happen because in this rule set, it favours the striking, because some people say you need leg kicks in it. You know, you need leg kicks. You need to have elbows and knees. And I thought, why do we? That's not going to make, in my opinion...
We're not doing Thai.
Yeah, go and do Thai boxing.
Yeah.
That's not going to make it a more spectator-friendly match. Yeah. I don't think... As soon as you start bringing leg kicks in, don't get me wrong, leg kicks and grappling, both very, very effective. No one can argue with that. But they're having problems in the UFC now because the fights are boring. Because it's all wrestling.
Yeah.
And if you go and watch an event, 5-minute rounds on some of the fights, people are sat there, they're on the phones. Like if you went to our Total Combat event, no one was on their phones. No one left until the end. Everyone was up on the seats, on the edge of their seats, watching the fights, which are shorter, faster paced. And we have I think it was 65% knockout or TKO on that last
You
show.
get more. It's funny because I call it sprint fighting.
Yeah.
Sprint fighting is when you really go. And if you're doing rounds of 2 minutes and things like that, you can go a lot more, especially if you're a good athlete. You don't need to set yourself too much. You can really
go
go
for 3-2s if you're fit. Yeah.
Some of the fighters who I'm looking forward to seeing again, there's a couple I think are real problems for a lot of people. And what's amazing is some of them are young fighters. So Tyus O'Donnell.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
So I have history of Tyus.
Tell us.
I have a little bit of history of Tyus.
Bad or good history?
And I'm trying to find a way. So I said, wouldn't it be good if a boxer came back and did something? So I have a fighter who's now transitioned over to boxing called Hamza, who you know very well. Hamza.
Yeah, you told me about that. He's only just gone over.
He's only just made it. Yeah, so
it's a shame that he's made. We've lost another one.
I know. But Hamza's one of those where like he isn't gonna pop. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna go, and I mean he's gonna throw. He's gonna throw hard. He's gonna throw strong. And he's got like George St. Pierre's coach, Faraz Sahabi. He says that some young fighters, some light fighters just possess power. He calls it's the Faraz Sahabi touch of death. That's what he calls it, where some can just separate you from consciousness. Some guys are really strong and they struggle to put it in. He naturally, for his weight, I think he hits 7, 8, 9 kilos over.
Wow,
he just does. He honestly does. He sparks loads of people. He's been disqualified in light contact so many times by not meaning to, but catching people. And he kind of jumped into some similar rule sets to that when it was just, before it was being done like in Total Combat spectacular way. And he's, he won the title in and defended it 3 or 4 times, MMA gloves and everything.
Brilliant.
And then this lad came over to challenge him for the title. Now, the week leading up to it, he was he was ill, but he just didn't kind of look himself. Anyway, before the fight started, he was looking a bit, and I was like, should you? And the mum tried to stop the fight, going, I don't think you look a bit like you. He's all right. And we think he had something wrong. He had not stomach bug or something like that. Yeah. And he was asleep about 2 hours before the fight. And then he's up and he's on the pads. He's like, no, I'm absolutely fine. The opponent was Tyus O'Donnell.
Oh, he's a killer.
And I'd done just a bit of research, but in the rules set, I thought...
Did you not know he was at this stage, really?
I did, but he had leg kicks. Because he's, with his Thai background, I'm like, well, if we don't do leg kicks, it'll be all right.
What about the rule set? Was that
the rule
allowing
set was
leg
no
kicks?
leg kicks.
Okay, so you thought,
I was like, it's all right, this is really good, we'll do this. So anyway, we thought it was once again going to be 3-2s. Turned out it was 5-2s.
Okay, yeah.
And we went, shit.
That's going to suit him again. The longer rounds.
Yeah. So what Hamza's brilliant is Hamza will go out there and he's just blown people away in 30 seconds, 6 seconds when he gets hold of him. And he goes out there, and I think in the first round it is pretty much over. Hamza goes up, all over him. All over him, just dead easy. Like, because he's so skillful at moving everything like that. And I'm like, how's this kid still standing? And then the second round comes, and I think I can't. And I was saying to Hamza at that point, you hear me screaming through the ropes, bring it down a little bit, because that kid's not going anywhere. And he must have unloaded like, in the second round, 70, 80 shots on him. And he came out to the third round, and Hamza at that point was a little bit more faded, a little bit more tired. Like I said, he was definitely carrying some kind of an illness. And Tyus just looked fresh.
Now he was ready to fight.
Yeah, and then he came out and I said to Hamza maybe he said, you're gonna have to stick and move. You have to jab and move. We're up 2-0 on the scorecards at the moment, and he took the remaining 3. But Hamza, even though he stayed in the entire time in the fight, and we lost on decision 3-2. And I spoke to Hamza afterwards, and when what's that? I went, fucking getting him back. And he wanted the immediate rematch. And I said, I don't want you to take the immediate rematch now. I don't want you to fight him straight away. I want you to take a bit of time so I can work with you on what it's going to be, and everything like that. He's then gone to boxing. Tyus then turns up at Total Kombat in the Indigo in the O2. Annihilates someone in, was it the first or the second? I'm sure, was it the first?
Second round, I
was
think
it the second? Yeah,
Ben Fillingham it was, yeah.
It was, yeah, because Ben
body shot.
He was doing all right early on. And then Tyus, though, but he's a violent guy. Like you see, he was shouting at him, wasn't he? I think he was shouting just good, like that as he was slamming in shots. The
story with that is he wasn't meant to fight him, but he had a drop out. No, initially, that's right. He was going to fight Aiden. And that would have been a great fight. And Aiden was well up for it, and his dad, as you well know what they're like.
Ricky would be up for that.
But because one was a few weeks older and he was 18, the other was 17, we couldn't have
the rule set junior, senior.
Yeah, there's absolutely, especially
junior v junior, senior v senior.
Especially what's happening, things are going to change quite a lot, because of what's happened with the juniors. So we had to get him a last minute stand in, which we did. And
he did well.
Guy was up for it, and he went for it for the first round. But like you've just said,
same again.
He just hold it in there. You weren't going to knock him out, and he's going to be there at the end of the fight, fighting as hard as he was. But he's definitely one to watch, and I think this rule set. Imagine him with elbows and knees as well. He's already like beating some of these guys that are prime strikers. In above up waist.
Do you find though that when you start adding the elbows and the knees, and then the clinches become a lot more of a thing and everything, and especially with the leg kicks, is that why risk throwing a spin kick to the face
you wouldn't,
when you can just chop that leg out? So then, like you said before, it's a spectacle. Spectator, the audience want to see something unbelievable.
Yeah.
They end up just getting because they want to see spin kicks, want to see amazing knockouts. They at home nobody realizes how much an inside leg kick hurts. It's horrific. And after that, you take 5 or 6 inside leg kicks.
You ain't kicking then after that.
You're not kicking. You're not moving. And then before long, it's a slow fight, slow pace fight. That's why this rule set is better.
Yeah,
it's better. It's more exciting.
Encourage risk taking with really good rewards. If you pull it off, you land in a head kick, you score more for that. But if you knock them out, that's even better because you're in bare feet. But, if you do mess up and you get hit, then, you fall on the floor, or they grab you and throw you on the floor. You get hit a few times and you back up. Okay, you've been punished for it, but the fight isn't over now. You know?
I remember I spoke to Elijah about this, and he says that the way the rule set has changed through Karate Kombat, he said it's just, he doesn't think it flows as well, because why would he take the risk doing something if when you're on the ground, you're on the ground for as long as you want?
Yeah, the fight's over then.
Literally, he can't do anything about it. So he'll go, in that case, I won't take any risk. I won't throw anything really impressive that looks really, really good. Like Robbie Lavoie, the kind of stuff that Robbie Lavoie would do. He will take the risk and spin. I'm talking about that in a minute as well, because that was mint. He won't take them risks, because what you say, instead, I'm just I'll hit you with 1-2s, body shots, and then we'll just sit in a clinch.
Yeah.
And it's not exciting. It's not. No. It looked far better originally.
Absolutely. So the idea is with Total Kombat is we want the fighters to be creditable world champions as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also have the rule set so that it is as entertaining as possible.
Yeah.
Not just efficiency. Because obviously you can add the grappling, you can add the leg kicks, you can add the pound and ground and just not let them up, But that's been done already. Why do you want to redo what's already been done and been done very well?
New.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things then that people don't know about, if you've never been to a Total Kombat event, production value, where it is, spectator, everything, how would you explain what it's like? Because no one will have, anyone from a kickboxing won't have been to anything like it. So
it's like a coliseum and a nightclub mixed together.
I love that. That's perfect. It is.
Isn't it?
It actually
I just thought, because you just asked me on the spot then, what's it like? Yeah, it's like...
It is.
Because if anyone's ever been to the Indigo at the O2, there is about 700 or 800 seats at the top.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're all curved around like in a horseshoe shape.
Yeah, high
and
up.
then you've got the oval, which is down there, and that is obviously oval in shape, which is the same as the shape of the...
Yeah.
And from any seat, anywhere, and the standing room at the top, you've got a perfect view into that, and you're still very close, because it's not actually... The first floor, the balcony is not that high off the floor.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, you've got the standing rooms are at the bottom where you're dead close to it anyway.
And the standing area as well. You've even got where the fighters do the walkout from.
Yeah,
so they're walking right through everybody anyway.
It's very personal in that way. But you can still fit, I think it's about 2,200 capacity. So so there's still plenty of people you can fit within there.
What I got from it is it seems like an event. Now, everyone got excited. So I think one of my lads fought on your show, Sid Williams. And what he did, when we got there, the dad, Luke, he FaceTimed me. He's like, Carl, you got to see this because they've been there for the weigh-ins.
Yeah.
What is it? And he was doing a scan of the room and everything like that. And he's like, look how fucking good this looks. I'm like, I know this looks absolutely. He's doing all that kind of stuff. And then he put me onto Sid, and Sid just randomly shadow boxing. I'm like, mate, you're not fighting for 6 hours. Like, yeah, I know, but I'm just... So then,
getting in the groove,
adrenaline's going and everything like that.
That's great that they thought that.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It just seems... When you walk in, you go, oh, it's better, isn't it? But also, take just how good the Indigo is. People are turning up, walking to the O2. So that bit where you're all walking up to it, because I saw loads of people, like all the kickboxers, all taking pictures outside, like, we're going to an event here. And then you see all of them start to arrive, and then Luke and all of his, Sid and Luke, sorry, and all the supporters, we all got a picture underneath it, like, look where we're fighting, look where we're fighting.
A world-famous, iconic fight venue.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, like, it's known all around the world, and it's the fact that we're at the O2, that has opened so many other doors for us, like the TV side of stuff, because you automatically, it's established.
Yeah.
And big, it's at the O2. We've actually got a business arrangement. We're in partnerships with the O2. So because of that, when the UFC was on, I don't know if you know that, we put a bit of footage up, but when the UFC was on, there was video footage all over the O2 of Total Kombat.
I saw that.
That'd cost you hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Because everybody got pictures, everyone got pictures with them. There's pictures in front of him, like, look, it's me on the big screen.
Well, no, when UFC was on, there's actually playing fight footage and all sorts on there as well. But it wasn't of that event because it was of the obviously ones we've done previously and stuff. And
that's amazing.
Bits and bobs have had to mix it in. But on the next one, it will be,
Well, the main thing now, I suppose, is letting people know that they are, it's available. It's not like a closed thing. People can apply. And just actually go for it and fight. I mean, I even want to talk about some of the people who did it. So we've even got a list because we're very, very organised and prepared on it. Yeah. So first fight, okay, I'll tell you what, the fight that I was most excited about, I actually had one beat it. Because of how good that fight was. So the one I wanted to see was Luke Burns and Matt Brooks.
That was the main event as well.
Yeah, that's one that everyone wants to see. And the main reason is something we spoke about before, is that kickboxers are too polite. They're too polite. Anyone's going to be like the martial arts and everything like that. I just think it's too polite, too nice. And even if they've got something bad to say, they just don't say it.
Yeah, I know. We spoke about this earlier, didn't we? And tell you who's good at it. Boxers are. They know.
Yeah.
But I was speaking to we've got a guy who's working with us now who's doing all our press stuff, and he used to do it for the UFC, Karate Combat and Glory, so he's very, very seasoned and know all his stuff. And he said it's known within the fight industry that any European fighters, martial artists, are always going to be quite tame. So they know the Americans will, apart from the Irish, obviously. The Irish,
I was about to say,
the Irish aren't shy about going off a little bit, and neither are the Scousers, though, as well. Very similar, very close to each other, aren't they, as well? So you can rely, if you've got a Scouser on the show, which we did, which is Luke, he played the game.
He went for it.
So he weren't a big ticket seller, but he did have some there. A few Scousers came down. Some of the guys that I know him. And he came down and he fucking fought really well as well, to be fair. He took it to him, but, Matt is even
researched the stuff to say to Matt and Joe. So there's one bit where he saw it, and he called, at one point, them, because they were both in the suits, they looked like the Step Brothers. He went in, didn't he? And you see, look, but what Matt did you see? Matt was like, well, I'll settle this when we're in there instead. We'll settle this when we're in there. But inside, look, Matt would have been going, I'm going to fucking...
Yeah, he weren't very happy at all, was he?
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're great. I know the Brooks brothers, getting to know them even more now by working with them, and they're both lovely lads as well. I think Joe's probably a little bit more composed. Matt looked like he was getting a bit fed with it. Like, do you know what I mean? Let me at him now. So, but you listen, amateur fighting and pro fighting is very, very different, and we're all learning this as we go along as well. Amateur, you're encouraged to be, especially if you're from the traditional tatami sports, you're encouraged to be respectful, disciplined, self-control.
You're not allowed to say anything. You say something to someone in a fight, ref's going to be on you for that. Exactly. You can't do that.
But pro is a different ball game altogether. So, and having British people and traditional martial artists, as you can imagine, like British are reserved and known for being reserved anyway. So you need to kind of generate excitement, because drama does sell, but also we want to keep the traditional values there as well. I don't want it to be an absolute like flipping Big Brother house, like chaos. I want it to be, I want there to be some bits of drama, but I want these guys to be good role models as well. Because if you go into some of the fight shows, they're not, are they? It's just thugs.
No. Yeah.
You know, and we can all be like that if we wanted to.
You've got a few. I think what you've managed to do on the second fight card. Again, we'll go over that in a minute. First.
Yeah.
But like, you've got a good mix of both, because there's one person in particular on there who will definitely mouth off and gob off and everything. I'll tell you that one in a minute. And that
is he from the Liverpool as well?
He is indeed.
Yeah,
he's
there you go. That's why you've got to have a Scouser in the mix as well. They're not shy about saying what they think, and they can do it. They can do it and they can own it as well. I think it's in the fight game. The Scousers are really popular at the minute, and we got to look at Paddy the Baddie,
Yeah, you got
Darren
Paddy the
Till.
Baddie. Yeah.
They're all.
Paddy says everything.
I know,
doesn't he?
but because of that, they're putting them on the map, aren't they? In the fight game, because they will just say what they think.
You've got to have mega confidence to do it as well.
Yeah.
And you Joe to go out and look at my face, going, "I'm going to do this to you because you're da-da-da-da-da," and then you go, "Do you know what? I might lose here, and that's going to be really bad." And to still do it, that takes good bottle as well, doesn't it?
And you got to own it. If you're not, you got to sell it. If you don't think it, if you don't mean it, it's going to look terrible, isn't it? That's why we say to people, like when you're promoting yourself, because what we're trying to do is build the personal profiles of the fighters.
Yes.
Because no one's been taught any media training. They don't know how to project themselves to the wider audience. So you haven't got to be a Conor McGregor. You've just got to be unique and different to everyone else and authentic. So if you're a nerd, be a mega nerd. Like let everyone know how nerdy you are. Like, because at least you're going to stand out from the crowd.
Is it Mikey Musumeci?
Yes.
You know him, and he is like the nicest guy ever, and he's always smiling all nice, and he's tapping people out left, right, and everyone loves him.
He's an uber nerd, is he on the spectrum as well?
Yeah, he is, and he's
just owned all of that, and because of that, everyone, it's the nerdy guy. He puts glasses on and everything as well, but
he doesn't swear or nothing.
No,
he just nothing.
But if he was trying to be a Conor McGregor, it's going to look awkward, but he doesn't need to be. So, like, be authentic, be yourself, just ramp the volume up a little bit from what you normally are, so people get the message, because you know what you're like, but no one knows anything about you yet. You need to kind of bring that out to them, don't you?
Well, I mean, that one was, I think that's the reason why that one stood out to me. Because Matt Brooks, Luke Burns, because there was a bit of needle and everything like that.
It was done really well at the press conference as well, and everyone wanted to watch that, and that was the main event as well.
Yeah.
However, his brother had a great fight as well.
Joe is I think Joe's and this is what's weird, because his fighting style does not match his personality at all, because he's so nice, so lovely. He's actually, I mean, Joe Brooks is in a couple of weeks. He's coming volunteering to come and do a training camp at mine, and he went, "Oh, I'll come down and coach for you." I went, "Oh, how much do you want?" He went, "I'll just cover my petrol."
Amazing.
He's come from Croydon to Manchester.
That's some journey.
It's a long one. It's a long one. And I said, "You sure?" He went, "Yeah, I don't mind. What do you want to do?" I said, "I'll do whatever you want. And then, so he's so nice, so lovely. I think he is. Joe, when we talk about the people who you can sprint fight and you've got to be able to deal with him, everybody thinks they can deal with him until they actually just deal with it. He doesn't step back.
No.
He just goes. He will fly through you.
Yeah.
And also, you don't know if it's going to be a right hand or left hand, a right foot or left foot. And if it is a right foot or left foot, you don't know where it's going to come from. Here, over his head, around the side, round to the body.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a weakness at all. He's got point speed, light con head movement. You know, the kick light have been able to move back. So if people are, for example, trying to shoot for the legs, if you do a kick light first, you know how to slip back and get out.
Yeah.
So you fall out. It'll get people falling short. I think he's one who'd, at some point, if there's going to be titles going on,
this is just what we were saying earlier. And we said, like, the type of person who's going to be a seasoned, well-known name out there would be one of the brothers, the Brooks brothers. Definitely, I would think that would be definitely one that I'd be calling for. But also these guys, you know, when we talk about personification of the martial arts and the type of humility and all the rest of it, but absolute killers at the same time. Yeah. I think people like Elijah's and the Brooks brothers are those. That's the pinnacle.
Aidan Lennon as well. Aidan Lennon.
Another one as well,
Doesn't say anything. So quiet, so calm. He can win a world title, have his arm raised and go.
There is a lot of really good talent in the UK, isn't there? But there's just nowhere for them to go, and they're and because of that, we're losing them, aren't we? To boxing, we're losing them to Olympic taekwondo. It's another place some of them go, and
the
and
fact where you're
MMA.
getting Olympic taekwondo back there now, like you've got Olympic. If you've got Olympic taekwondo people coming here, then it shows that there is an interest there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I mean, you've got, some of the ones as well, like this one, which was the Josh Angaboyat's fight, which you're now doing the rematch for.
Oh
on
my
the second
God,
one.
that got fight of the night.
Yeah.
That was a great fight.
There's a picture, and I said this is the coldest picture of the event. And it's Josh after that fight, and he's stood up. He's got the crowd there, got ones in front, and someone took a picture from the side. And he stood on the oval, 1 foot on the tip of the oval.
Yeah.
The foot back, like, just stood on the corner looking over the crowd. And you got like the smoke that had gone through because and I'm like, that is one of the best pictures.
Yeah,
I think you put it on. It had gone on all your socials.
Yeah, that's right.
And it looked brilliant. But that's the closest thing we've had to a UFC, to have that kind of a spectacle, to have a crowd, all of like the LED lights all around you, the crowd cheering and standing up and owning it.
That was great. I love that picture. It's one of we've been using it for all the stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of-
I think I post it. He's not even my fighter. I post it. I'm like, this is one of the best pictures out of the night.
Yeah, definitely one of the best.
So the Tyson O'Donnell one, I think we're going to need to see at some point a Tyson O'Donnell, an Aidan Lennon, a Joe Brooks, trying to filter those three into a 63 title. That's hard.
Just think of the level. That's some talent there, isn't it, in the pool?
And that was all on one.
Yeah.
That was just on the first Total Combat. Those three fought separately, and all of them dominated. So Joe Brooks, stoppage finish. Tyson O'Donnell, stoppage finish. Aidan Lennon, stoppage finish. All three of them.
Yeah.
You've got to find a way to whittle those into who could be.
Yeah, well, we're going to. So the next plan is we're going to start developing point system and a fight league and start bringing people
Like ranking. Are you going to do rankings?
Yeah, that's it. So again, Damon will be the one for that. He loves it. It's like a proper nerd, and he putting all together. The fight league and who's done what.
And then you have your pound for pound rankings after that.
Yes, we haven't done it yet, and it's been done quite simply in the past. Is it maybe we follow the same model? We haven't done it yet because we've been doing so many other things, or maybe we make it a bit different. You know what I mean? So you can gain points by other ways. So this is something we're going to need to consider, and I look forward to doing that as well because it gives people, a proper way of gauging themselves and where they're at, and then would hope to be having actual world title fights by 2027.
I suppose also you are being able to present to the world the amazing fighters we've got coming through. Like people will say, it's dead funny, people will notice one of these fighters on a Total Combat show. Have seen these? This person who's they've just started because they've seen it for the first time and they don't know they've got all of these years behind. So you're essentially now, you are the presenter of fucking look at this. Yeah. And this is the fight, because there's ones, I'm just going onto the second card, you've got Asia fighting.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Now, if people don't know Asia and they've never seen Asia fight before, watch that.
I know.
Watch that. I've got half the lads in my she'd leather half the lads in my club.
She is strong.
She would absolutely batter them.
Did you know that she's a self-acclaimed nerd though, and big cartoon fan? No, neither did I. So you just wouldn't know, would you? Andy was interviewing her at the press conference. No, not the press conference. At the media day the other day, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm a bit nerdy, and I like cartoons, and she's telling us all a bit about herself, but she's an absolute killer.
She's a wrecking machine.
Yeah, and the girl she's fighting, so she's from ITF Taekwondo, I believe. One of the off splits of it. One of the many
ITF
ones.
and World Taekwondo,
Yeah, so, but there's off splits of ITF as well, isn't there, apparently? I'm not from the Taekwondo background, but it's like quite big.
Associations.
So she's representing her style, and she's very, very confident in her abilities, but, that's going to be a hell of a fight. So they're both
I'm all in for
it.
that.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that fight.
I'm all in for that. I've seen Asia. Asia used to fight a lot of my girls, and I've had some really, really good, solid girls. And what happens is there's a point where, and this is how you know this style's going to be perfect for it. There are times when maybe in the first round, one of my girls would have gone up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, and you can see that my girl's like, I'm beating Asia. And I'm like, yeah, right, stay to the game plan. And all of a sudden she goes and turns up a level, and the power comes in, and all of a sudden, you can see the others who can't deal with it. So she always had the ability to go up in force, up in power, and fucking change it in hers. And now that's what she's doing. I mean, you had that with somebody else, Tennessee Randall. I don't know if people know this, but Tennessee Randall, who you had on the first show, is she pretty much killed full contact in the Nationals. Because what happens is people go, there's no point going because if I'm fighting Tennessee Randall or not. And there used to be about 15 in light contact in the weight, in the girls, in the women's weight on that. So what happens is she went, well, in that case, I'll bring the power down and I'll go on the tatami. She came out the ring, went tatami. Within 2 years, there was 3 fighters on tatami.
She retired everybody.
She was getting everything else. Nah, I'm not doing that. But all of a sudden, the other weights are really busy either side of it. So someone like that, that is ideal for her. Someone who can just take, because she did the same thing. I'll power down. I'm really good at this. Oh, I'll power up. I'm brilliant at this.
Yeah.
So she's the same as Asia. Someone who's absolutely made for, the rule set, the sport. How it's all going to go.
They bought a coach load as well. The Welsh. Yeah, they bought a coach load.
Yeah,
So
it's
really
good support.
Yeah, it was really
it's
good
good support. Well, I noticed that you've also got Tony Stevenson back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so he's great. He'll fight anyone. He will, and he's keen as well. He wants.
I'm intrigued.
I think he wants a rematch.
I know. So Tony.
Should we talk about that fight a little bit?
We can talk about that fight. Yeah. So Tony Stevenson fought my boy Sid Williams, and Sid he just turned 18. Solid fight. He's current defending world champion as well, WACO world champion, and I think he's won the WACO British about 1 million times now, something like that. He's a monster. He's also qualified for the senior world championships and in Abu Dhabi, so he's fighting in the European championships in September. Then about 6-7 weeks after that, he's going to Abu Dhabi for the world championships.
Yeah.
Like he really is that good. But Tony Stevenson is highly decorated, like highly decorated. And he's also got, and it sounds weird, man strength.
Of course.
32, 33, to 18, everything like that. And you can see that when he got hold of Sid, that was the point where...
So that must have been the game plan as well, I would have thought.
Nullify the younger,
of course,
the younger
that's what
fighter.
you would do, isn't it? When you're 18, you don't have man strength. It's one thing, it doesn't come to your mid-20s, does it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You're like, you're not as dense, you're just not...
It's how you think you're tougher than your dad can still manhandle you and throw you around.
You can't pick a telly up by yourself, the old ones. Like,
yeah, dead easy.
Or a fridge.
Well, what Tony did right, because he did it right. He used that man strength that you're talking about, and he kind of held it. And then Sid then just stayed busy with the hands and everything. And what happened at the end of that fight is, I think you put a couple of reels on about it, is that the referee was so noisy, the atmosphere was so good in there, is that it was 2 rounds to 1. So red, I think he says red 2, blue 1. Or something like that. So they thought blue won. So they announced it for the win, and then they went, no, sorry, it was. So they sorted it all out, and Tony got it first. They reversed it, and then Sid got it on the second time, and you could see that Tony was like,
it's a terrible thing that has happened, and it was a mistake.
I mean, it happens. It happens everywhere.
I know, but imagine it for the fighters though as well, because it was such a close fight. No one can say anyone was robbed on that. I don't care what anyone says because it was a very close fight. And sometimes you don't know, do you, when it's close, because you don't know how the refs are scoring it. And obviously he's your fighter, and he did win. So, but it was a close fight. Let's be honest. It was a competitive fight. But he did get the decision, and then Tony I think he would. If I said you want a rematch, so what does Sid say? I
imagine. So Sid wants brawls. Sid wants he wants to throw hands, get hit, and hit. What Sid is? Sid's like a proper just like a grinding fighter. Like he will just go and go and go. Won't slow down. Won't go. If it was 10 rounds, he'd do 10 rounds, and he'd be quite happy with that. All right. So I'm not quite sure, because Sid wants to be in Josh Angaboy style fights.
Yeah.
He wants the crowd going mad. And what that was there was tactical. Like Tony, because he's got all the experience, it was a tactical affair. Tony at no point was trying to knock him out. I think it was a case of I'm going to try and get the points decision and blah, 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 like that. But I happen to think that if Tony wins this fight, he'll get on the microphone straight away and call Sid out.
I think he's got some unfinished business there.
And Sid's 18 years of age. So if he goes da-da-da-da to Sid, even though Sid's like, well, I might win a different kind of fight. If he calls him out, Sid will go, you fucking...
Yeah.
And so it's going to be an interesting one to really see. However, I've seen the person he's fighting against, and I believe he's the K1 fighher, isn't he? And I've seen some of his K1 styles, so his hands are going to be sharp. His hands are going to be strong.
It'll be interesting to watch it,
Yeah. I don't think... I mean that Bart Hoff... Is it Horvath? I probably butchered that name. He won't have dealt with anybody with the legs of Tony, though.
No.
Tony lead axe kick, popping all round.
Brilliant the way he just pops that up.
He won't have dealt with that. It's going to be a case of...
They don't see it, do they?
If he can get inside the legs. But the thing is, Tony's game plan is that if you get inside the legs, I'll clinch you. And I'll be able to hold you until it separates.
Yeah.
So you've got to either get hit by the legs or go through the legs for a clinch game, which means he's always going to have 70-30% because he's going to score the scoring shot on the way in, which is why what we had to try and do is blitz through to the target, close that distance nice and quick. Fight of the night, though, I'm going to call the fight of the night for your second show.
Yeah.
And it's one that people probably aren't thinking about. And it is Jack Dalton and Joe Pittman. Because Both of them, they're tatami fighters, but they're tatami fighters who are not going to try and do a jabathon. They're not going to try and score points. And they'll stand in front of each other and just throw hands. And I don't see... I think I'm going to say right now, put some bets on if you can on this one. That's going to go to a decision, and it's going to be an absolute back and forth. I think it's going to be a bit of a messy face finish. Yeah. I think there's going to be, they're both going to get hit, and they're both going to get hit a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that will be like a war. That will be what was the Josh Youngaboya fight from last time. That will be it this time, even though the rematch of Josh is going to be on there.
Yeah.
There's another one, though, that I want to put on for you, and that is Richie Lunt. Richie Lunt will just fly.
Yeah.
He will fly. So, I'm going to say Richie Lunt's getting a stoppage on that one.
So he's fighting a really high-level Spanish taekwondo fighter. So
Sid's fought him.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of people. He's very big within the taekwondo world.
Yeah.
A lot of eyes are on him. So it's great that Spain will be watching. But even some of the UK people, there's 30 people that have just bought tickets that are from taekwondo so they can come and watch him and fight Rich.
Oh, wow.
But Richie, I had Richie on a podcast with me as well, and he said, I'm the best striker for my weight in the world. So he put that out there, and he's not shy about telling that to people. So I'm really looking forward.
Like a train.
And he's been out for a bit. He's obviously broke his arm, didn't he? So I don't think he hasn't fought since then. And then he's still shredding his weight down. So it's whether he's been out for too long. Will he shake that off, or will he just roll straight back in where he left off? But yeah, I'm really excited to watch that fight as well.
Yeah, Sid's fought Martin. Okay. Again, it's a hard thing of getting around the leg.
Yeah,
because he's got a very good leg on him as well.
What rules did he fight him in?
LC.
No, what was
light contact? Okay, yeah, light contact.
Yeah.
And he's very good. He's also very rangy. But the thing is, if you think in light contact, points, kick light, you're on a tatami. You can just step out. You can't step out of an oval.
No, you can't.
Because you've got a wall behind you. So I imagine that feeling of like, for a boxer, they step back, and when their back hits the ropes, then they go, I've got to do something here. As soon as your foot hits that the side of the oval, you think, shit, I've got to do something. Whereas some people, they'll try and move off it or flip off it or do some kind of crazy kick. I think that Mohamed Noor tried that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He tried stepping on, but again, he's a proper taekwondo spinner, isn't he?
It's only because of the opponent that he had who's so good that he didn't land anything.
Dalton John. Dalton John,
He was like flipping Neo from The Matrix.
Yeah, they were missing each other, weren't they? Just narrowly missing each other.
I think anyone else, and he's a world-class fighter, full contact fighter.
They both are. They're both, you can say they're the top of their sports.
So that was a close fight again, but it was a very exciting fight.
That's another one that could have gone either way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it was either stoppages or razor close decisions.
And do you know what as well? Because people have said, you get feedback, and some people say, right, make the gloves smaller. I'm like, hold on a second. Okay, what would you think? I think about if it was me fighting, and what I would have loved. And so does Andy and Damon. That's what we think about. Like, we're creating something that we would do that we never had the opportunity for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You can always go down to 4-ounce gloves. I went and watched Elijah and Ross Levin both fought in Las Vegas in December a couple of years ago. Not last year, the year before, at the Karate Kombat. And they just changed the rules to 4-ounce gloves. And everyone's face, including theirs, they both had to go to hospital because they had stitches and cuts. So you can give a bit more entertainment to the crowd because it encourages knockouts. But not just knockouts that make a fight good. I think when a fight, like you've just said then, and you identified, if they're close, what can be better sometimes is when they're not knocked out, but they're just both going on it at each other, and it gets to the end. I mean, what's wrong with that as well? Especially when it's spectacular and it's skillful and it's evenly matched. So we're not following what everyone else does and what they want, and leg kicks and elbows and ground and pound and smaller gloves.
You're setting.
And I would be happy with that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've got 7-ounce gloves. They're the big, not big. They're the top 10 MMA gloves. Yeah. So they are protecting the hands. Yeah. But they're also, it's not like having a big 10-ounce. No. Boxing glove on. No, it's less than a 10-ounce. Even though obviously a lot of the padding and the weight is there because the front of the hand's empty. But there's not much padding on a 10-ounce there. There's no padding on a 10-ounce glove there anyway. But you're still able to grab and throw efficiently. So, and that which is the fun bit in it, is watching the throws and the sweeps and the takedowns.
Yeah. Well, you've managed to pull somebody out of. So you said before about a UFC fighter. You have somebody on who has fought in the UFC.
We do, yeah.
You do, and it's dead funny because he rang me up. He rang me up just after because I know Mr. Dean Barry very well.
Yeah.
And he rang me up. He said, "Carl, I'm going to do this this Total Combat, are you going to be there? Well, I don't have a fighter on this one. I'm not going to be at this one, but next year, all the other events, I'm going to have lots of guys put forward. He went, all right, do you know anything about this guy that I'm fighting? I said, unfortunately, I really don't. I said, what you're going to do is like, I've got the itch again. I've had the itch for a while now. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go for it and everything. And he's confident.
He's still young. He's about 32, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's 32. So I saw him at the media day last weekend. But I've known Dean since he was a kid. The Junior World Championships. Because when I was coaching, I had one of my guys, Jack Evans, used to fight me all the time in the finals.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Jack?
Yeah, I do.
He was a great fighter. They got to the finals and it was neck and neck and it went one way and another. And Jack was winning and then Dean just won it in extra time by like a point.
Well, Dean's beat Irish Open. Dean's beat Raymond Daniels in teams before.
After I went on to clear up, basically, he did really, really well in the kickboxing space. Yeah. He had some personal problems when he went over to UFC. We've spoken to him a little bit.
Yeah.
Things, it's like his head weren't in it. He had things going wrong. And he's more mature now. He wants to reapproach it again. So he's one to watch. I think really one to watch.
And as we just said before about the thing, sometimes the young ones, there's a mental difference between a young fighter and then a seasoned pro, and then you've got that boy strength to the man strength. And so he's now got both them coming in, and he's already fought in the UFC.
Exactly. Well, that level of exposure to such pressure, and to such such
from
a big
UFC Octagon to Total Combat Oval.
Yeah,
so he's actually gone that way, which I think is amazing.
Well, hopefully we get some more as well.
Yeah. Oh well, you've got people who fought in Karate Combat who've now come over as well. Yeah. I mean, this one for me, right? This is it's dead funny, right? Those moments you have really cool moments. So you as soon as you announced one fight on the on Total Combat 1. It was the one I was really excited about.
Yeah.
Not because I was like, I want to, like the Matt Brooks and Luke Burns one. Do you know, like a personal one when you know how good somebody is? And it's when I saw that you bring in Robbie Lavoie over from Canada.
I love Robbie.
Everybody loves Robbie, but no one knew. And just funny is that because he's been off the kickboxing scene for a while on the wacko side that we're all on. All of my lot, and you look at Robbie, he's a little dude, man.
Yeah.
Little Rob, little dude. And and all my guys were going, who's the little guy over there? Who's the little guy? Is he fighting? And I went, it's fucking Robbie Lavoie. Put some respect on that name. What's wrong with you? And then I messaged him saying, I've just seen you fight. I can't wait to catch up again because I used to see him every year in all the big events. And he went, I was going to mess you. Can you coach me? I went,
amazing.
Mate. Hell yeah. So it was me coaching him with Timmy Savantudis from Germany.
Right. Yeah.
So me and him coached him. I then went into the warm-up room when we got there, and I was kind of chilling and sat down with Rob, going over the game plan, and Timmy's going over what he does. And all of a sudden, this dude comes in, put hands on both of our shoulders, like, everyone's back together, and Michael Page had walked in.
I know,
and Michael Page comes in the room behind us all. We all get a good picture and all talking about it, and he said how cool it all is. And it was like a thing where you kind of go back years and you go, wow, like at some point these were all the young ones.
Yeah.
And now and then they're still, I love that. So
amazing.
Good. And then being able to corner him and coach him.
And he fought great as well. The lad he faught's really good as well. Really good.
Thai fighter, isn't he?
Really good Thai fighter, but he's not, some Thai fighters won't fight outside of there. And I know a lot of good Thai fighters have tried to get them in. They're like, I'm not doing it without elbows and knees, you know what I mean? And leg kicks. That's like my main weapons, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But respect for him to take away some of his main arsenal and go in there. And he still fought really well.
Yeah. And he's
but I don't think people understand the level that Robbie's at.
They don't.
Robbie can hit you from all angles.
How old is he? Is he 40?
40.
Yeah, he's 40, isn't he?
Or nearly 40, or
40.
Just out. He's in and around the 40-year age.
What I love about Robbie as well, and if anybody goes back, because you can watch the event still, can't you? It's still on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
If you go back and you watch that one, because of the commentary team, and you've got me and Timmy coaching him at the corner. Now, bear in mind, Robbie's won everything, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's won everything, and he's fought in Karate Combat. He's dominated the kickboxing scene for, a couple of decades, something like that. The most respectful person. You get a lot from the Americans, don't you? But him. So I was saying, I want to do this, and then slip this way. And he's going, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he's listening and taking
it.
Yes,
sir.
Was he doing it as well?
Yeah, doing it as well. Brilliant. And he comes out, because we said, one of the things that he was best at was his speed from point A to point B was unreal.
Yeah.
Lead leg side kicks, perfect.
You can't get past him.
Because the Thai fighters coming square on. We just wanted to kind of hold him at range with short sides, and then we started to close, slam him with really long ones.
Exactly what he did all the way through the fight. Yeah.
And he just, every time, yes, sir, yes, sir. And at the very end, he goes, thank you, sir, thank you, sir. And me and Timmy going, you're the one who did all the work.
Yeah.
Robbie, you're the one who did all the work. And even tried putting on a show at the end, throwing the spins.
Yeah.
Because there's a really famous knockout of his I'll put that in over this at some point when you see it. And he's fighting in it, and because Roy Baker's reffing it, and I think it might be the US Open or something like that. And he puts the glove down, Joe, touchdown, spin up kick. So the lad moves in with a leg. He goes, boom, boom, and he's unconscious before he hits the floor, and he kind of gives a little wave and goes on. And that was on last time. I looked, it was on about 9.5, 10 million views. That one. And he tried that. He actually tried that right at the start of the first round. And I was like, I wonder if he'll do it, I wonder if he'll do it. And his legs were still quick. Yeah. Whip and boom. I suppose having those is amazing. But now it's a case of like, how far can it go? What's the goal? Where's the end goal? Where's it going?
I'll tell you exactly what the goal is.
We've done 5 years. Where's it going?
We've been extensively kind of drilling into that with the team and Andy and Damon and Ben, and like we're looking at what is it we're trying to create. Because if you don't know what you're trying to create, or you don't know where your goals are, you're not going to know when you get there. So first and foremost, it's like we have to establish what our brand was, what is our brand, and what we're about. And we want it to be a British known fight brand.
Yes.
So, and be proud to be British. We've all worn the colours and the flags. You know what I mean? It's also part military, veteran owned. Part of it, because obviously myself being one of them, served in the military. It was 100% funded by veterans. So all the seed money we got was from veterans. A percentage of the profits go to a military charity called Pilgrim Bandits.
Amazing.
So that we're in partnership with. So we're very much for the UK, for Great Britain. All martial artists and fighters are patriotic, and they like the flag and they like to wear it, and it's a positive thing. And it's quite negative in some areas for some reason with some of the younger ones. We want to make it good and popular and something that people can celebrate and can come together under. Yeah. So we want to be proud that we're British. We want to project that outwardly to the rest of Europe and the wider world and America. We want to dominate the fight space. So we're going to be at iconic UK cities. Next year, probably is going to be all at the O2,
which is an amazing venue. Anyway.
So we've got to learn our trade first. We're still learning. We want to get the product as good as possible. Everyone get everything right. Know what we're doing. Smash that, and then we're going to move to other big cities in the UK. Then, so we can go Birmingham,
Manchester.
We go to Manchester. We can go to Liverpool. We can theme it. We can have more fighters from there, and really build it up and make it something special. And then we can look at going overseas. And then once we've committed and dominated what the space we want to in the UK initially, then push out to the wider world. So that is the plan. So we've obviously got a TV deal already. We've got a potential one, which I think is going to go through for America and Canada as well.
Okay, we're not saying that one yet.
No. So we've got one for America and Canada as well, and perhaps Asia. So by the end of we're going to be all over, and we're going to be seen in lots and lots of places. So
what you could get then that's amazing there is that by doing that, because like at the moment, like you said, you're going to be exclusively in the O2 down south for now, but then you're looking at trying to move it around. By doing that, the availability can be better because then your viewership is going to go up. But what it would do to me as a coach is my academy that I have, because I have a lot of GB pathway fighters and things. If this is going to be a thing where also it's traveling around, and I could almost change my style so I can add sessions on, because if you look at MMA to begin with, when MMA started, you were a kickboxer, you were a wrestler, you were a sambo, whatever you were, they all fought. Now MMA is very different, because now you get a gym and they have someone for boxing, someone for wrestling, someone for this,
and everyone's a mix and match the same thing.
So you might find that you'll start getting an evolution from all of these clubs who will then go, right, we've got this class, we've got a total combat class, and we're going to start bringing people through this way. And then you've essentially got, instead of having like a 8-week training camp, you've got people who know the rule set, who've been training for 4-5 years. So when you get to that point 3-5 years down the line, where it's moving everywhere, you can go, right, here is our roster. We've got 4 fighters fighting out of that gym. Do you know, like we've got at the moment, American Top Team and all these kind of things. You could then have all of these other clubs who that is a Total Combat Academy. That's a Total Combat Academy. That's Total Combat Academy. And then you can start looking into the background as well, because then you've got like the coaches of MMA, Trevor Whitman and people like that, the top ones. You go, right, that coach has produced 8 Total Combat fighters, 2 champions. That one's got that. Because then what happens is by doing that, all of a sudden, all of them gyms go, I could beat that, and then this gym rise up, and this one rise up, and then that pool of fighters is so big that you've got to put on more events.
Oh yeah, that's what you want. It'd be good to do one a month at one stage. Once we build,
absolutely amazing.
You've got to walk before you can run, haven't you? And get it right first.
But there's a full plan in place, and the thing that we can't say, which obviously we're not going to say right now, is a really big one.
Yeah.
About what we'll mention. But when that happens, we'll put a link up of it. As soon as it happens, there's like a huge press release.
Yeah.
I'll do that from my channel as well. The bit that people are going to want now, and this is one thing that we tried not to talk about before we started the podcast because you want it to try and be organic, and that is fighters who, because bear in mind, we've done the one show, the second show is coming up soon.
Yeah.
Fighters who we want to go on, because I think there's a couple of fighters UK-wise who suit it perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that Finn Heason should do it.
I had Finn on my podcast, didn't I, not so long ago, and I was like, come on, why can't you do it? Because he's boxing. But apparently I've heard he's not boxing now. I don't know what.
Oh, I haven't spoken, because he came and did a seminar.
Would be ideal. Would love to have him on.
What you've got with Finn is that, like, Finn is still one of the best kickers ever. Like, one of the best kickers ever, but also the most creative kickers. Now, he's caused so many problems for people in foot pads.
Yeah.
So take his foot pad off.
Yeah.
So he's got a foot that's gonna he could cause such problems. I think Finn Heason should do it. I know he's trained with Elijah loads as well.
Yeah,
I think Elijah should do it the same
as
way.
well would be good to see.
Elijah, Finn Heason, those two I think are brilliant. And what's amazing is we've just got to wait for some of these juniors to step up.
Yeah, well, they might stay on board now because, like you said, they normally fade off.
I've got a few. I've got a boy called Joe Woods.
Yeah.
Who is going to want to get in there. He just won the Hungarian World Cup in full contact, and again, his thing is like, where do I go? Where do I go next? Do I go to this? Do I go to that? Do I go to the other one? So he's doing full contact, but his now thing is maybe I've got to do K1.
Yeah.
I've got to do K1 because that's my way in to something. But his style that's brilliant is full contact, which is exactly what Total Combat is. We're kicking above the waist.
Exactly.
Hands, feet, everything the same way. Have you got anyone else who you think should go in? Because, I mean, I'd like some crossovers. I want Brad Pickett from MMA, them kind of people.
Yeah.
So ex-pro boxers.
Yeah, we've got bare knuckle boxer on the next one. An ex-bare knuckle boxer called Liam.
Wow.
I've got my glasses on to read that.
Someone's going to have to deal with Relentless then, because if you do bare knuckle, he won't be scared of anything.
He's from down south, big ticket seller as well, and he's fought in loads of stuff. So he's mustard. So it'll be really exciting to see how he gets on. But other people, like I said, Finn and Elijah, definitely from representing.
They're UK standouts and dominators.
They're top of the top.
Yeah.
So just those two really that are right up there above everybody else. I know there's some other ones that are good and that aren't there yet, but
well, Finn and Elijah had nothing left to prove in the sport that they were doing.
This is it. Yeah.
And it got to a point where it's like,
and he went boxing. Elijah's gone more, karate combat.
Yeah. Oh, it's a tricky one, that, isn't it? It is a hard one. Would you go down another line as well? Because there's one thing that's kind of come over in the years, and that is bringing in a specific fight. Because again, especially for viewership, and that is influencer style fighting.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay, good.
We'd have that in the undercard.
I thought I'd bring that one on tentatively in case you went, Carl, absolutely not.
No. Listen, we live in a different world now. It's all about attention and eyes on, isn't it? Look at Misfits Boxing.
That's exactly what I was going for.
We've actually got Ben Davis, the commentator.
Yes,
He's going to be working with us moving forwards as well on the shows. So he's coming over from America to be one of the commentators. So we are thinking outside the box that way. You've got to make it entertainment. It's got to be exciting. Things like that would good. I've already looked into that. We tried to get something together on the first show, but we'd definitely be interested in doing something like those lines, but not separately. Just that fight by its own, standalone.
Oh yeah. It's
not being like included into the league or anything.
No.
I think it'll be really good fun and interesting in something that you could do with minimal experience and a bit of a boot camp, as long as you had the right team around you and they were matched properly.
It's getting more eyes on it as well, isn't it? And what's crazy is that, like, how people can get, I say, famous, well known in the public eye is a bit crazy. So there's a guy, he's a fighter, all right. And the reason I ask this is there's a guy and he's becoming like a bit more of an influencer now. And he's, I think he's done boxing. He's done a bit of MMA and a bit of K1, and his following was always, something like that. And he decided to rebrand himself into the White Monster guy. So he just drinks White Monster. That's it. And so he fights, and his joke is he'll just have like, I have 6 of these a day. I do a joke of like him, like, his followers have gone like this
because he sticks out from the rest now.
He's a stand-up, and I mean like that. So I messaged him, and I was like, well, what kind of thing would you be fighting? What do you want to do? And he said himself, he went, I want to fight another influencer. So they know the game.
Yeah.
They know the game, and he well up for it like that.
Yeah.
And what's mad is you get that fighter, then you've got the following of, let's say he's got, 100,000 followers. That's then 100,000 followers. When he posted he's won or lost or he's about to fight, you're getting 100,000 all the time. I think the influencer thing is mega.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a real in. So the next show is very quickly approaching.
Yeah.
So we've got the full fight card. Have you got that public yet or?
Not public yet. No, it's not been.
We've mentioned.
We have. Yeah. Well, if you look at all the individual posts on our Instagram, you can work out what the whole fight card is. But we haven't got the order put in yet. We do that closer to the time,
right? Okay.
As well. But then, depending on ticket sales and stuff, we will then decide who goes in what order and then what the main events are.
Perfect. Right. Well, so before we go on over when the date is, where to get tickets, how to get tickets, everything about that. I'm going to put you on the spot dead quick on one of them then. So you said there's going to be the incorporation of titles. Do you know when the title fights will be? Are we looking at them next year?
Probably end of next year, start of the year afterwards. I would have thought so, but you've got to earn it first, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you've got to make sure there's the right people. But people like to tune in for titles. It means something, or at least a main event, where they can do something a little bit different and people are invested within the characters that are taking part.
No ideas, or you can't say yet on the individual.
No, but I think you kind of know the type of ones we would like to see. That I think, as well as being a good fighter, they've got to have something else about them to be watched. Otherwise, they're just going to be the world's best kept secret. No one wants to watch someone who's vanilla and boring and doesn't say anything or wins and they win in unexcitedly. That's a big thing in points fighting. That's become trendy over the last 20 years. It's just win. Win. But ugly. Win ugly. You know what I mean? So we want people that are going to be wanting to be watched.
Well, in that case, if I could throw one out there, so he didn't fight at the first Total Kombat. However, he was at your previous show, and I believe he then went onto the commentary team. I can't remember his name. He's the French guy. It's
Kylian Bonnet.
Kylian, yeah. He's got to be fighting again.
Yeah, he's retired, unfortunately.
Has he retired?
I'd love to have watched him again. We'd have done anything to have got him on.
You're joking.
A spectacular knockout he did on that.
Because that shocked me. When I saw that he was commentating, I'm like, surely he's going to get in there.
No, I tell you what, though.
That's one of the best knockouts. Everybody saw that knockout.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It looked like just floated on air. Bum, bum, bum.
And do you know what? I used to take the piss out of that kick. I used to watch the taekwondo. Yeah. That is so wet. Like, who's going to do
dancing
that?
or something. Yeah,
doing the
can-can.
Just kind of kick each side.
Yeah, that's what we called it.
And then he flipped, turned his hips over and hit him with a proper roundhouse kick.
And absolutely sparked him.
Yeah. So,
that's
very impressive.
Shame.
But
I'm sure you can talk him around.
Jordan Thomas, world karate champion, who's commentated on the last show. He's fighting in this next show.
Okay.
So he's a world karate champion. His dad's a karate champion. So he's really big within the karate world. So that should bring a lot of eyes on. And they want a good, strong representation of the karate. They're like, karate fighters and they're good, but we've got some really, really like higher level ones. So
we put our good kickboxers in, didn't we?
And so it's good. They're stepping up now and they're bringing the best. And this is what we want, the best of the best from all of the styles represented.
I'm still going to be back in the kickboxing to get it all through.
Do you reckon, who do you think's got the best style that's more likely to win?
Do you know what's weird with the takedown? So what makes it different here is that if it's pure stand-up, I think the kickboxers for the stand-up. I think the taekwondo is really good depending on the level of athlete that you get.
And depending on what else they've got with can they punch, can they take a shot?
Well, that Mohammed, for example, like you can see that he's worked his hands as well. His legs are unbelievable.
He's been extensively working.
But his hands, and I follow him now on his socials, and I see him in MMA gyms and everything now.
He's training with the best people that you can.
Yes, he's leveling up. So I would say he was what you call a bit of a hybrid athlete now. He's taekwondo, and he's now moved in. That guy's kickboxing as well. Whereas the karate has something that we don't have. They're amazing at the takedowns. Not
the
like
sweeps.
It's that's what it is. Yeah. Like the drag sweeps. So what they do is they get hold of you in a certain way, and they're more hip throws. Now, what's weird in this is that when you see the kickboxers doing it, they kind of get them to the ground, and we don't do ground and pound.
No.
So it looks a bit sloppy.
Yeah.
What the karate do is the karate have the ability to, if they're doing something, take them down to the ground, and they hold a limb. So they will always have an arm free. So if you've got, how many strikes is it?
3.
You can have 3. You have 3 strikes.
Yeah.
So instead of us going like that, which is what they do, they'll sweep you. They'll have your arm locked up, so your head is exposed up, and they'll just go 1, 2, 3. hasn't happened yet, but the karate ones are going to be a bit of a danger.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the top karate guys, to be honest with you, because I think the rule set as well. I mean, the idea of the rules is that it doesn't. It's familiar to everyone, but it's not going to favour one person or another.
Yeah.
That's the idea. So it's got a mixer. You've got more. You score higher for kicks. So taekwondo, that's good. But you can grab, you can sweep, you can take down. That helps karate as well. So I just think once those guys get in and represented at the top level, it'd be really exciting to see them as well, because that's going to nullify some people's kicking, because they'll be able to just grab and take down the sweeps and the follow-ups. Yeah.
That's where the evolution happens, though, doesn't it? And then everyone has to work around it. The idea is we're showcasing the very best strikers that there are on the planet in an environment where they can show off to the ultimate level, and you're giving it, an area for them in order to do that. So the next show is on
Saturday, the 13th of September.
Saturday, 13th of September.
At the Indigo at the O2 in London.
Indigo at the O2, which is one hell of an arena. Tickets available now? They
are,
right?
TotalCombat.com. You go on there, you can get your tickets from there. But yeah, they're selling quickly if you want to sit down.
Yeah.
So there's obviously loads of standing as well.
Because bear in mind that first show with the launch.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the upstairs was pretty much full anyway.
Sold out the upstairs, yeah. There's only standing room left.
There's only standing room, right?
There was still a few hundred in the standing as well. Do you know what I mean? The pace was packed out.
So people are going to have to move quick on that one.
They will do, yeah.
Get hotels sorted, get everything sorted, and get there. And also, don't wait for like main events and stuff like that. Go right from the start.
Yeah.
Because the early fights.
Yeah, all the fights are good.
Yeah, then the early fight. I mean, the first fight last time was Aiden Lennon's fight. Very first fight. Knockout straight away, first one.
Yeah.
So get there early. Don't wait for ages. Get there early doors. Get your tickets and be on it.
Absolutely, mate.
Perfect. So before we finish, though, one of the things is because I always put this in because there's something that you got that you sent me one and I bought one another one.
Yeah.
And that is that your book that you've got with you.
I just so happen to have it.
You just so happen to have a copy of it right now. Because what's funny is I think that everybody in our in our circles, all have this book.
I hope so.
They do, and have all been on the courses that you do, the online courses. Yeah. So I've used it because the way in which you grew your academy into multiple sites and everything like that is because you've got that military background. Everything is so regimented. There's a terminology for everything. So whereas modern day we're a bit more chilled and a bit more relaxed, a bit more do it this way. Yours is very much it's done like this, it's done like that, it's done like this, and then growth happens.
Exactly. It's simple. You got to do each bit as written out, not what you feel like, not just some of it. You got to make sure that you do that bit.
Go.
Yeah,
I've done them.
You don't go past the second round until you've done the first one properly.
Yes.
And then it compounds and you can grow from there.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. You just got to do it.
Well,
it's in there. Yeah. What you got to do is do it. But you know what people are like? People will read the book. That's amazing. That sounds really good. And then do nothing.
Yeah, because I've rang you a few times in regard to how to do this, and I went on one of your. Then I did do your online course as well. Yeah, which was like just sort of systems breakdown of how to grow the academy and make it bigger and do these bits and bobs. And like you said, a lot of it's basic stuff. We just don't implement it.
And do you know what? Some people, it's too much stuff. They're just like, I can't fucking cope with that. I'll just crack on and just do what I'm doing. That sounds way too complicated, but it's not, because what you do is sometimes. You just you give people lots of information. If they're not doing it, it's overwhelming. Yeah. However, you just do one step at a time. And
if you're being told as well, it's better, isn't it?
Don't worry about all that noise now. Okay, do that, and that this month. That's it. And then we check in with people online. So they have a mid-month meeting. Then we have a webinar. So it's online, so you can do it from wherever you are, once a month. And then we have weekly check-ins. You have to put all your stats, how many students you signed up, what your active student number is, how many missed classes that week, how many intros you got that week. So it's just like if you dieted, if you've ever done a diet where you've got to kind of log all your calories and your macros, so you can only lose weight. You only lose weight when you track it. If you want to do well in your business, track your leads, track how many's coming, see what's working, and just keep an eye on it, and then keep moving forward steadily.
Being held accountable as well, because they're doing a check-in with you, and you're going, "Have you done it?" No, well, that's why I fucking did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If
being held accountable is a big thing.
Accountability is one of the main things, isn't it, for anything? Yeah. And people are disciplined enough to do it themselves sometimes with some things, but doing something sometimes and doing something consistently, as you know, as a top-level coach, is the difference between winning and losing, isn't it?
Yes, 100%. 100%. So where can they get that as well before we finish?
Amazon. Yeah.
On Amazon, and what was the title, how you search?
It's called Elite Martial Arts Instructor by Lee Matthews. Yeah.
I will have that up anyway, and I'll put it in the post and everything like that. Cheers. Right, mega. So thank you very much
you're welcome. Thanks
for coming on today. So 13th of September, right?
That's right, yeah.
So 13th of September, Total Kombat at the Indigo at the O2 Arena. Tickets are available now. A lot of the main seats will have gone, so you have to be very quick in order to get the standing that's remaining. Do it as soon as possible. And for all of the future events, I will definitely see you there as well. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.